I did notice that that was a pretty big lead that you did have in the regular primary, not just over Senator Cassidy, the incumbent, but also over Treasurer Fleming. Was your campaign surprised by the numbers that came in on Election Day?
We were ecstatic. So much hard work went into that, and just watching the numbers come in that night was such a blessing. And of course, to have President Trump's endorsement means everything as well. So to be able to chat with him that night was a surreal experience as well. So what an incredible moment. Someone who never thought in a million years I'd be standing before you today running for the United States Senate. It was something that I definitely soaked in.
So one of the topics that's become a big campaign topic this time around has been carbon capture. And right now, we've talked about this on the show. The federal government is subsidizing carbon capture, which science, if you look at the math and the science, even if the people who believe in man-made global warming are correct, carbon capture does not lower global temperatures by even a single degree over the next 100 years. So should the federal government be continuing to subsidize carbon capture here in the state of Louisiana when so many people in the state of Louisiana don't want it at all?
Yeah, so and in Louisiana, it's now in the state's hands. It's out of the federal government's hands. And I was so encouraged to see our governor put a moratorium on those projects moving forward until they're fully vetted. And I've made my position clear that if a project's not safe, if it's not transparent, and if it doesn't have community buy-in, it should not move forward. And so I'll continue supporting that.
But what about the federal government's role? Because it is the federal government that is subsidizing the carbon capture. If the federal government were to cut off those tax incentives, every single one of these carbon capture projects goes away overnight. So should the federal government continue to be supporting carbon capture through federal subsidies?
I think we definitely need to take a good hard look at that. Again, those were put in place by prior administrations. And it's definitely something that needs to be studied. And, I think the Louisiana people have had enough. They're fed up.
Now, Congresswoman Letlow, I guess I'll ask the question, I guess the elephant in the room, so to speak. Congressman or Dr. Fleming, Treasurer Fleming, has made the allegation or the suggestion that your fiance is some sort of lobbyist for carbon capture sequestration projects. Is there any truth to that?
I think that my opponent is deflecting that he still receives a paycheck from a federal lobbying firm in D.C. And I think it's an incredible low blow to go after family members in this race. I signed up to run, not my fiance. And if you want to lob attacks, lob them at me. Over votes that I took or policy positions that I've taken in the past or my record, but don't go after family. I would never go after his wife in this race. It's an absolutely below the belt blow.
But aren't we influenced by the people we spend the most time with? I mean, I certainly know that my wife has influence over me and in the way that I look at some things.
Influence. I think she pretty much makes every decision for you.
Especially in areas where she has expertise, such as education. So if he is lobbying for carbon capture, wouldn't that have an influence on you just naturally?
I am my own person, and my fiance is a well-respected partner in a well-respected law firm in Louisiana with thousands of clients. So to cherry pick one issue again is just an incredibly low blow. And I would never do that to John Fleming, and I would expect him to give me the same courtesy.
Now, Congresswoman, what do you consider to be your greatest accomplishment since being elected to Congress?
Oh, hands down, the greatest day was passing the Parents' Bill of Rights. As you all remember, during COVID, for the first time, moms and dads were sitting around the kitchen table seeing what their children were being taught in the classroom. Now, this wasn't really happening in Louisiana because we're a conservative state. We do it right here. But you saw this playing out in Virginia and other left-leaning states. And what did the parents do? They lawfully went to their school boards to voice their concerns. And when they went there, they were rebuffed. Many were turned away, and many were even put on a domestic terrorist watch list by our own government. That should never happen in our country. So listening to those parents, I was so proud to pass the Parents' Bill of Rights out of the House. So parents will never have to worry about that again. They will always have a seat at the table when it comes to their child's education, and we are going to root out DEI in our K through 12 programs. So when that passed the House, greatest accomplishment. Unfortunately, it went over to the Senate to die, which so much of our legislation does. It would be such an honor to go over to the Senate to make sure that we can codify some of the amazing work that we've done on the House side and get it to the president's desk.
We got about 15 seconds left. You got about, 29 days until the runoff. Is there any plans for you and Treasurer Fleming to meet face-to-face, say, perhaps here on American Ground Radio?
Yeah, we already debated and we felt victorious in that. And so I'm planning the next 29 days to meet voters face to face, hear their concerns, hear their issues, hopefully earn their vote for June 27th and go up to the Senate and represent them.
Congresswoman Letlow, appreciate your time here and appreciate your service to our state.
Thank you so much for having me.